But lawyer.
I figured that.
Yeah, I know. I know you did. I know you did.
And you know what that just tells me? I beat you. And the sad thing about it is, it didn't have to get to that point. That's why I kept saying the but part. I knew I've been did the things, but you know what, man?
No, listen.
Good luck to
I
you.
respect you, man.
Good luck to you, man. But you know I beat you, right?
Okay.
There you go. I beat you, man. Good luck to you,
buddy.
buddy.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, man. And one for me, right?
Another one. Another
No.
one for the
I
books.
want you to tell me that I beat you.
You did.
All right.
Another one for the books.
There you go. Thanks, sir.
Take it easy, man.
All right. Sit tight.
All right, brother.
Sean Jeffery Brijmohan first discovered hookah lounges while living in New York. When he relocated to Florida, he began to frequent the Royal Hookah Lounge, owned by Muhammad Amar Alamos. As the two got to know each other, Brijmohan had to correct Alamos's assumption that he was a police officer. He worked in security, which Alamos seemed to consider the same thing, and offered Brijmohan an unofficial position to help with troublesome clients. Over the course of 8 months, Brijmohan found out things about Alamos that didn't sit well with him, and along with a few friends, he planned a prank to put him in his place. The joke went too far when Alamos gave them money as a payoff. The group kept it for several days before returning it. By this time, the police had gotten involved, and they did not believe it was a prank or that Brijmohan hadn't impersonated an officer.
Mr. Sean.
What's up, brother?
What's up? Hello. I went to the wrong room. I thought he was in the other room. My bad.
Stuff happens, man.
Real quick, bro. Can I get off this mask?
Yeah.
Because it's hot. Appreciate it. I appreciate you being cool about letting us get in the apartment, give us consent to go in, get the rifles and stuff like that. I appreciate that.
And we're going to give you a receipt for your rifle and your vest and your belt so you can have all that stuff.
You'll get all that stuff. Like I said, we're working a separate case.
Mm-hmm.
I just want you to know why you're here.
Yeah.
And obviously it involves you, your name's in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember at the house you were saying some stuff about you kind of knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And the guy, whatever, and I'm going to let you tell me whatever it is. Before I do all that stuff, I'm going to read you guys real quick, just so everything's good to go. I know you, law enforcement, and I know you kind of know what's going on.
Yeah.
All right? So I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
All right? So you have the right to remain silent, bro. Anything you say can and will be used you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer before or during questioning. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you. And we want to make sure that no one has either threatened you or promised you anything, like, hey, you're gonna come here and talk to me, I'm gonna work stuff out for you. You understand all that, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, that being said, remember when you're like, hey, I kind of know what this is. Mm-hmm. There's a guy, there was a prank, there was whatever.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that? Like what's going on?
So this guy's name is Amar. He runs the hookah lounge. I've been going there working. I was actually working security for him.
Okay.
All right, and it was kind of an exchange thing. So I'd help him out on the weeks that I had off from
Mm-hmm.
U.S. Corrections.
Yeah.
I'd go in there and I'd help him out with security because people would go in there and take them. They're all foreigners that work there.
Mm-hmm.
So some people would go in there and just take them as a joke and they wouldn't pay. They'd just leave.
All right.
So he came to me about that.
How did you guys meet?
Originally, I went there because there was a girl that I'm friends with, Jen. She was working there.
Okay.
She was like, "Oh, come to this hookah lounge," because she heard that I go to the hookah lounge.
Mm-hmm.
What's Jen's full name?
Samala, last name Samala.
I'm assuming it's Jennifer.
Jennifer, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is going almost a year ago. So I started going there, and then one night Jen asked me to stop by after work. So when I showed up, I had my uniform on from work.
So kind of like what? What'd you have on?
Just my uniform, tack pants.
You had your gear and stuff on?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I had my patrol car with me too because I took the patrol car home with the company I work for. It says security on it. You can't mistake it.
Okay.
So when I walked in through the back, Amar's like, "Oh, I didn't know you were a cop." That's where it started. I know how this mess began.
Okay.
So I'm like, no, I'm not a cop. I work with U.S. Corrections.
Brijmohan explains the situation calmly. He has practiced his story beforehand and is confident that he will be able to pass everything off as a joke.
He's like, "Yeah, you're a cop. You're a cop." And I'm like, "No, dude. That's a security car outside. I do both."
Mm-hmm.
And
You told him you were not a...
Correct. I told him. I said it's very different You know what I mean? And you know, depending on, and you know, me and him were friends, so we talked.
Right.
I said, you know, depending on what state I'm in, you know, we're looked at as law enforcement in different states.
Right.
I go, but that's from law enforcement only. They give us that, like, oh, hey, what's up, brother?
Yeah.
I was like, but as you can see, I'm security, dude. That's basically what it is.
Okay.
U.S. Corrections is basically security. All right.
All right.
You need a security license to do it too.
That's cool.
Or,
Let me ask you a couple things, just to clarify.
Yeah.
You were going home from work,
correct.
and Jennifer called you to stop over at the hookah real quick for whatever.
Yeah.
You pulled in and your marked security card, got out in your uniform, and walked inside. Were you armed?
Yeah.
You had a firearm?
Yeah, because I was coming home from work, and I was scheduled to work the next day.
Now, this company doesn't have a pool firearm, because you told us that you don't have a firearm at home because the company you work for now has a pool firearm system.
I don't work for that company anymore.
Okay.
This was while I was working for that company.
And the pool firearm system process is there is a gun at the office, you show up to work, check that gun out. At the end of your shift, you return the firearm.
Unless you're working the following day or something, they would let us take it home.
And that's policy for the company,
Correct.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, anyway, I spoke with him, and I was telling him, I was trying to explain it to him, but the guy, he's not all up there. You know what I mean?
Like, he
doesn't understand certain things. You got to explain things to him all the time.
What do you think that is?
I think just because he's not from here.
Like a language barrier?
Yeah, he's from Syria. So when you talk to this guy, you got to literally tell him like 7 times in a row, and then like figure out how you can break it down, you know what I mean, to talk to this guy.
So he can understand it.
Right. And throughout this whole time, the guy also, the other thing with the guy is he likes making friends with law enforcement, because I think it's because in his country, if you're friends with law enforcement, you're like invincible.
Okay.
You know?
So gives him juice?
Right, exactly. So he made friends with a sheriff named Susan. She's a sergeant.
Okay.
And them two got really close. I don't know how close, but very close.
Why do you say that?
Because they text each other all the time, and he's one of those bragger type guys. So he's always bragging, yeah, she loves me, she wants me to marry her, and he'll show like text messages and pictures of them together, like all kinds of weird stuff.
As far as you know, do they hang out a lot?
Yeah, she's always there at the lounge.
Okay.
And she's there when she's working too.
So she's there in uniform and not in uniform.
Right.
So regular clothes and uniform.
Yeah, and like I said, she's a sergeant. She'll go in there in regular clothes. I've seen her there because like I said, I was working there for the guy, so I was there pretty often. And our deal with me and him was basically, you know, I didn't have to pay for hookah when I was there smoking and stuff. I come in, put a couple hours in with him on my time off.
That's cool.
He lets me smoke. I was cool with that, you know what I mean? I'm from New York. It's kind of like a New York vibe, you know?
Yeah, I get it.
So,
I saw in your apartment you had a big-ass hookah.
Yeah.
Did that come from there?
No. I smoked too. I've been smoking hookah since New York.
Okay.
I was friends with a girl in the Bronx, and she put me on to hookah. This was like 11, 12 years ago.
Wow.
So I've smoked hookah for a while. Not as much, and, you know, I smoke more when I'm at the lounge because it's free now. You know what I mean? Hookah costs money.
Is that like more or less the damaging than a cigarette?
It depends. There's no actual proof yet. Like, they don't have actual statistics on it, but they say it's more damaging than a cigarette. However, the process of the hookah, it gets filtered through the water and ice. So when you smoke it, it's more clean. And then depending on how much nicotine you're smoking, too, all the shisha and the tobacco, it has different levels of nicotine. So, like, I get the lowest level because I don't want nicotine in my system. I actually lost a job because of smoking hookah.
Really?
Yeah, I got a job. I was working at the hospital, doing security at the hospital for like 3 weeks, and then they tested for, you know, drugs and all that. Yeah. And they called me. I thought I was clear because I don't do drugs and I don't even drink. And the lady was like, yeah, unfortunately, we're going to have to let you go because you have high levels of nicotine in your system. And this is a smoke-free environment.
What?
I was like,
nicotine?
Really? Yeah, nicotine. They're that serious over there, that Florida hospital.
Let me ask you about your job real quick. I'm sorry to keep
you. No, guys,
in order for you, how many companies do you work for right now?
Right now, 2.
2, which are?
Metro State and U.S. Corrections.
Although Brijmohan is not in law enforcement, his job is closely related enough that he has a good understanding of the law and how it works.
Okay.
Yeah.
In order for you to work with these companies, do you have to have some sort of security license?
Yes.
Or what kind of security license?
GD, and some companies require concealed weapons permit. I I wish I had, but I don't need that for these two companies.
Okay.
Metro State requires you to wear, we do like funeral escorts and stuff like that. We're not required to wear a firearm at Metro State, but we have to have all the gear. So.
Okay. All right, so you were saying that this sergeant and keeps hanging out at the hookah or whatever. So
yeah, she's really good friends with the same guy, which he goes by Amar. But yeah, she's really close with him. It's almost weird. The gist of what I've gotten is that they met in the hookah lounge, and they started talking. She advised him she was law enforcement. So again, he was all like, giddy and happy about that. Oh, let's be friends. Oh, you don't have to worry about paying. And then he sold her something, mattress or some kind of furniture maybe. This is what I got from what happened, how they met. And he put it on a website, Craigslist or OfferUp for like $1,200, and he gave it to her for $500, and so it made her happy, and she was like, oh, okay, this is a cool guy. This guy, I've learned over time that he's a bad guy, and the last time that I met with him, he asked me to do something for him, and that's when I told him, I was like, dude, you're a fucking scumbag. I was like, I'm not.
Well, what do you want you to do?
He wanted me to follow his ex-wife, plant drugs in her car, and then call, like, the police and have them pull her over and be like, oh, yeah, I want to drop an anonymous line that there's drugs in the car. Yeah, he's a real scumbag, and I've learned it over time. Like, he sexual harasses the girls and stuff like that. He'll tell the girls in there, oh, don't talk to Sean, he's a bad guy, so that they don't talk to me, so that they can't tell me what's going on. You know what I mean? And then he'll tell me, oh, don't talk to the girls, they're bitches, man, they don't like you for some reason, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
He's not a good guy, and as I figured it out, he would cry to me, and he'd be like, oh, you're my brother, he'd hug me, I literally fell for his shit, and I think Susan did the same thing. You know what I mean? I wrote a statement the other day against him with a detective Everson. She works domestic.
Orange County?
Orange County domestic, yeah.
Okay.
I think her first name is Mara Everson. She's a detective. I wrote a statement against him for what he asked me to do. And I told him that night, that's why I had a feeling this was coming. I told him that night, I go, dude, you'll be lucky if I decide not to report you for what you just said to me.
Whether Brijmohan's story is true or not, it serves the purpose of giving a reason for the owner of the lounge to make false accusations against him. I just released another extremely intense case on my Patreon when a suspect shoots a cop in a police station, shows a man driven to desperation from concern for his friend, and decides he will use force to get his answers. What happens next is shocking. You can watch that and many more at patreon.com/strangerstoriesplus.
When it first happened.
Yeah.
What did he say when you told him that?
He was like, please, brother, don't do that. I always take care of you. The typical, Arab or Syrian way of talking.
Yeah.
I always look out for you. He grabbed his hair on his mustache. He's like, I killed myself for you, blah, blah, But when he asked me to do that, I was like, that's when I knew for a fact that this dude was a scumbag, that people that were talking to me and telling me these things were right. And that's what I told him. I said, overnight, you'll be lucky if I don't report this. I go, this is insane that dude, that's a woman. You want me to jam up a woman, bro? Like, what's wrong with you? And he's like, oh, I've been telling you all the things she's done to me. Meanwhile, I'm hearing from Jen, who's actually friends with the woman, the same girl that worked with him, that the woman's not a bad woman, that Amar was caught cheating in the building. Amar did this to her, Amar beats her and stuff like that. So I'm like, now I'm finding all this out. I'm like, Jen, why did you even let me be friends with this guy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the whole thing with him is he would tell people I was a cop because he wanted to get that juice. You know what I mean? He'd be like if the workers were messing up, he'd be like, oh, I'll just talk to Sean or Susan. They're cops. And then when the workers would ask me if I was a cop, I'd have to tell them, like, no, man, listen, look, Amar's got it twisted, bro. I work for U.S. Corrections, right?
Have you ever introduced yourself as a law enforcement officer to anybody?
No.
If anybody ever said, I'm a cop?
No. Usually if somebody were to ask me something, I'd be like, yeah, I work for U.S. Corrections, and I work for... And then if they ask if U.S. Corrections is law enforcement, I'd say it's like law enforcement, but it's a security position. We transport criminals. We go after people, that are getting transferred from a jail.
Okay.
You know.
So let's talk about the. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
The incident that you mentioned, that you said that you thought you knew what this was all about at your apartment. What were you referring to?
Amar.
But what happened with him?
Well, he told Susan a whole bunch of stories about me, and one of the workers told me what was going on.
What worker told you that?
Danny.
Is that a male or a female?
He's a male. He said, "Oh man," and he's also foreign. So when you talk to him, you have to break stuff up too. And he's a kid.
Okay.
He's 16, and illegally working there. But he called me because all of his workers, even though he told them not to talk to me or hang out with me or whatever, they still respect me because I was always cool with them. I'd still tip them even though I'm not paying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Danny called me, and Danny told me, he said, "Hey, Susan is here, and Amar's talking about you, telling her all kinds of stuff about you." And I said, "What kind of stuff is he saying?" And Danny told me, he said, "Look, man, I don't want to get in trouble." I said, "Danny, you're not going to get in trouble, bro. What's going on?" And so Danny told me basically that he was telling her that I came in there and like strong-armed him or gave him a hard time about something. And I'm like, "Danny, when have you ever seen me give that? I always look out for the guy." You know what I mean? Like, I'm always looking out for him. And he said,
Did he ever pay you with anything besides free hookah or whatever?
Every once in a while, he'd like, "Oh, here's $300, or here's $500." Sometimes he'd buy me like shoes. You know what I mean? Well, I don't know if he bought them. I don't know how he got them. But he'd come in with some shoes. One time he tried to give me a phone, iPhone 7. He said it was brand new, but it was cracked and beat up. I'm like, "Bro, come on, man. I don't need that." You know what I mean? So he would pay me here and there, but it would be out of the blue, and on a day I wasn't working or something like that. You know what I mean? He would just hand me off cash.
How often were you working there? Like a couple times a week, once a month?
For a while, it was just a couple times a week. And then if I was, 2 weeks gone, I'd come back and work for, 3 or 4 days throughout the weeks.
And then what did you do when you were there? Like what was your
basically
actual job?
I was supposed to just be doing security, but he like fired the DJ. So every once in a while, I'd run the DJ booth. It's just like a YouTube turnaround.
But security, like bouncer, like out front, or like
more like sit there and smoke hookah until I'm needed. If he has a problem,
if he's got a problem, you take care of his problem.
Like muscle.
Yeah, like a bouncer.
Did you have
like a bouncer?
Were you in uniform?
When I was working, no, I wasn't. I wasn't in uniform while working with him. He wanted me to.
Did you carry a firearm with you?
When I carried my concealed. You know what I mean?
Where's that firearm? I mean, a gun's a kind of important thing.
Yeah.
Where is that gun?
Yeah, no. That firearm is at Central Florida College.
Why is it there?
Because.
Like, who has it? Like, who?
Central Florida Police has it.
They took it?
Yeah, because I was working a security detail there.
Oh, the University of Central Florida.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I was working a security detail there, and they didn't know who I was because it was a plainclothes detail. For the same company that I told you I quit, that's why I quit.
Oh, that's the ongoing investigation that you have where you were arrested up there or whatever. They took your gun as evidence.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So
the detectives have to keep clarifying their understanding of what weapons Brijmohan possessed, since some of them were issued for specific jobs that he no longer held.
So you never had a firearm and a badge on you when you worked?
Not in a work capacity.
When you worked at the hookah?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I've gone in there a couple times after working at a site.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Did you work on the night of the 12th of January of this year? I think it was a Friday.
For Amar?
Were you at the hookah?
Yeah, I was there, but not working.
Who were you with?
I was with a group of friends.
Specifically, like names?
Yeah, Steve.
Hold on a second. Do you think?
I have.
I have a pen.
I also had one, sir.
Hey, can I get one of those guys to give me a pen?
I don't know what. And I might have left the pen in the pad.
Left the Soro.
So he was cool. He was kind of cool with you, I guess. Like everything was cool.
Yeah, everything was cool, man.
And then he had some problems with his wife.
Yeah, he seemed like a cool guy, and like I said, he played the part right.
And he calmed you,
crying,
straight up, like smoke hookah, everything's cool.
Yeah, all the time. All the time. You know, I only paid for hookah that one night that I first went there. That was the only time I paid for hookah.
Good. How much is that? How much is that?
Like $25.
And how long does that last? Like if I pay, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the bars and stuff. I know it's cool to hang out or whatever, but if I pay $25, how long does that last me? Like an hour, or am I good for like the night?
Yeah, it's like 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how you smoke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're a strong smoker and you're really like just going at it,
it's probably be like half hour.
Half hour, yeah.
Shit. And how long do the people hang out in general? People hang out there?
A couple hours, 2-3 hours sometimes.
And they just hang out?
Yeah, well, they drink and stuff there. They drink beer. The guy has a beer and wine license, so he can serve beer and wine, but, you know, if you pay him, he'll
give you stronger stuff?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, like, all this stuff that I started seeing and everything, that's when I started realizing this guy's not
Hey, what's up with this dude?
Yeah.
I mean, I never been to I don't smoke hookah.
Yeah.
I don't really smoke anything, but...
Yeah. It's like...
I can see the I can kick back here, relax, have a drink, and chill.
Yeah, you can go with a couple friends and stuff.
And hang out?
Yeah, just relax. Plus, like, the whole idea, like, people don't realize... Sorry.
Yeah, you good?
People think that it's the hookah that relaxes you, but it's actually the breathing.
Because like, how do you... Okay, you're going in and out, in and out?
Breath out.
I get it.
So people mistake that, oh, yeah, I smoke hookah because it calms me down. No,
but it's really because you're like...
Yeah, it's the breathing.
All right. I get that. What else was I going to ask you, bro? So you, on the 12th, did you work security? Like somewhere else?
No.
You came over there or like... Or did you just come in and...
Oh, actually, yeah, I did work earlier that day on the 12th. I worked with Metro State.
What did you do with that?
We did a funeral escort. We did 3 funeral escorts, yeah. We have... what
do you guys do with that? Like, how you do it? Like
we have patrol cars that say Metro State on them. They're black and white. Kind of the owner of the company likes California LAPD-style vehicles.
Oh, yeah.
So he's got black and whites that say Metro State, and they got lights and sirens. The lights are purple. And
so you did, like, traffic?
Traffic, yeah, going
through
traffic.
you hold the intersection, and go through, and then you keep going?
Yeah.
Do you have one of those cars? Or you just...
I don't personally have one of those cars.
No, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
But that's what we use.
They assign you on the side?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we go in, sign them out, and then we go do the escorts.
So you didn't go with that car to the hookah bar?
No, the owner wouldn't let anybody take those vehicles because they resemble...
So you go in your own car?
Yeah. I always use my own vehicle, or when I was using the take-home car with the security company.
Yeah.
You know, I had a white Crown Vic that clearly stated security. Amar leaned on it and sat on it multiple times. You know what I mean? He knows the deal. He's just...
Does he have a lot of cop friends?
He does.
He does?
He does. And he does that because, like I said, he comes off to you as this guy that's in poverty. He's hurting.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But he's the owner of the business.
He's the owner of the business. And he'll say that his wife is stealing money from him, and he'll give you all these sob stories to make you think, oh, man, we feel for this guy. You know?
Did you ever meet his wife?
Recently, yeah. Yeah, she's a nice woman.
Really?
She's scared for her life.
And he paints it like...
Yeah. Actually, I was with her last night when Orange County showed up, and because she had called me, and she's like, hey, I don't know what to do. Amar's arrested now. And
he got arrested last night?
Yeah. She said Amar's arrested now.
For what, though?
Battery.
For her? Like domestic type deal?
Yeah, battery. He's got 7 charges. Battery, tampering with a witness, violation of an injunction with a
So she already had an injunction on him?
Yeah.
Some of these things will be easy to verify, such as the arrest records. Still, that doesn't justify any wrongdoing on Brijmohan's part.
Is she ever at the business? Did she ever go to the business?
She was in the beginning, and then she stopped altogether. And then anytime you'd ask him about what was going on with his wife, he would be like, oh, I don't want to talk about it.
Really?
And then eventually he started crying,
Telling you, hey, this is my problem?
Yeah, I come home, she beats on the dog, like, he painted the picture of her like she was the worst woman in the planet, you know?
We know, we're just talking about hookah stuff, really.
Okay. You were saying that the night of the 12th, you were there with some friends.
Yeah.
Steve,
I don't know his last name, and the other guy's name is Constantine.
What was Steve wearing?
I think, yeah, like tan shorts and like some kind of dressy shirt or polo shirt or something.
Was he wearing a hat?
I believe so.
Constantine, what was he wearing?
Constantine was wearing... Like,
what's his last name, do you know?
I don't know his last name either.
How do you know him?
I've worked details with them, other
Both
sites.
of these guys?
Yeah.
Do you have their phone numbers?
Yeah, I should have their numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I have to ask you permission for this? Can I search your phone to look for these phone numbers?
No, I don't want nobody going through my phone.
Okay.
But
So Constantine,
no
what was he
disrespect.
wearing?
Constantine was wearing a suit. Like button down.
Like a button-down suit?
Yeah.
That's pretty different type of clothing. One's
Mhm.
wearing shorts and the other one a suit?
Mm-hmm.
Was Constantine coming back from a job or something? Or
I think he worked at one of the bars.
okay. So what happened that night?
All right, so basically, that night, we came in there and we played a prank on Amar. All right? The prank was a very easy, simple prank. All right?
Walk us through that.
So we're all hanging out, and Constantine comes in.
We're all hanging out who?
Me, Steve, and Amar are sitting down.
Okay.
And we're hanging out. And Constantine comes in, and we have a girl that Constantine knows.
What's her name?
I don't know her name.
Okay, so
That's
she's
why
the friend
Constantine knows, yeah.
of Constantine.
So she comes in, she sits down, she orders some drinks and a hookah.
Yeah.
And Amar goes over, and we just knew it would happen this way. Amar goes over, starts touching her hair, flirting with her, you know. She asks for something a little harder.
Mm-hmm.
He goes and finds something harder, and he brings it out to her. All right? So Constantine, now the reason we were doing this prank was, one, we do pranks a lot. You know what I mean? We just do, it's just a work thing. We all do pranks. The idea was, he wasn't listening to me. He wasn't listening to Susan. And he wasn't listening to anybody else about this whole liquor thing and the flirting with girls. We're trying to help the guy, literally help the guy.
So Susan was aware of this prank?
No. Susan wasn't aware of the prank.
Okay.
I'm just saying Susan's aware of some of the things he's doing.
Oh,
as
the
well.
shenanigans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I've literally sat there next to her and heard her tell him, like, Amar, you need to stop. Because you're gonna risk your business, you're gonna get in trouble, you know. Stop serving alcohol. She knew of it all. And like I said, they're really close. So anyway, again, the prank. We send Constantine over, and he's like, "Hey, sir, can I ask you a question?" You know, he's dressed in a suit, and
Hold up a second.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to wrap my mind around this.
yeah,
You guys had already predetermined this is what you're going to do. You're going to send a female in to ask for liquor.
Mm-hmm.
Was she underage?
No, she's actually of age, but we pretended
age.
she was underage. Yeah.
How did you guys pretend that?
Well, she said she was underage.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't know if you guys had like a fake ID or something.
No.
What is she? White, Spanish?
She's a white girl. Yeah.
White girl?
Yeah.
About how old is she?
22.
Do you know her?
I don't know her.
You don't have her phone number? You don't associate on social media or nothing with her?
No.
How about Constantine and Steve?
I don't know them that well. Like I said, just from work and stuff, and we play pranks. There's a group of their friends. They play pranks. You know, we all play pranks on each other.
Okay, because this is a pretty convoluted prank. Like, if me and him are going to do a prank, like I know him, I know his phone number and all that. If I pull somebody from the hallway and I say, let's play a prank on him, other guys going to be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
yeah. Well, Steve and me knew Amar. Steve, you know, Amar knows who Steve is.
How does he know him?
Because Steve started coming to the lounge as well.
Okay.
Okay. So that's where that went.
Was Steve working with you?
No, not at the lounge.
He was just chilling?
Yeah. He'd come and hang out.
Brijmohan's leg starts to bounce before he gets it under control. His nerves may be starting to show.
Who introduced him? Who introduced Steve to the whole Like, or he just happened to be a guy coming? Like, how did
No, Steve came for my birthday party.
So you had a birthday party at the thing?
Yeah, Steve came for my birthday party, and then Amar.
And you know Steve from work?
Yeah. So Amar, you know, got involved with the whole group. Like, oh, hey, who are you?
Did Steve ever introduce himself as a law enforcement officer?
I don't believe I've ever heard him say it.
Okay, not in front of you?
Right.
Did he ever carry a firearm or a badge on him?
When he was working, I don't think he carried it into the club.
Okay. All right, so Constantine walks over to this female, and what happens?
While Amar was with the female.
Okay.
And basically he's like, hey, ma'am, can I see your ID? And she's like, sure. So she shows the ID, and Constantine kind of looks at the ID, and he looks back at her, and then he starts talking to Amar. At this point in time, you know, we're not in the group. It's separate.
Yeah.
Me and Steve are kind of just watching from the chair smoking hookah. And Amar comes running right to me. Talk to this guy. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, he's checking the ID, man. I don't know who he is. He might be a cop. I'm like, all right, I'll talk to the guy. So I go talk to the guy, and like on the sideline, we're kind of laughing, you know, a little bit. We're joking around because it's funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're like, okay, you know, the guy's obviously nervous about something now. So anyway, we go through the motions. We play it out a little bit. You know what I mean? And you know, Constantine's telling him, he's like, you know, you can get shut down. You know what I mean, for serving alcohol. You know what I mean? I didn't hear Constantine say he was a cop at all during any point in time.
Do you ever expose a badge?
No, he showed his security. The funniest part about it is he showed his security card.
So
Social security card?
No.
Security, like a license?
Like a security card, like, you know, with his picture on it.
Okay, so he never exposed a badge, a gun, and a radio?
I know he had a radio on him.
Like walkie-talkie type?
Yeah, but we didn't have any radios. It was just something he brought in with him.
Did he ever have like an earpiece? Do you know if he's wearing an earpiece?
Yeah, I don't remember if he had an earpiece in.
Do you guys normally have them? Like,
earpieces?
Do you have an earpiece at work?
I don't wear an earpiece. I don't like them. But some of the guys wear earpieces at work, you know?
I don't like them.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the earpiece.
Okay. So you guys are talking, you and Constantine, and then what happens? Where's Constantine from, by the way?
I'm not.
White, Asian, black?
I think he's Mexican, maybe.
Maybe Mexican?
Yeah.
Some sort of Latino?
Yeah, Mexican, maybe.
Does he speak Spanish? Do you know that?
I don't know if he speaks Spanish. He's got a little bit of an accent, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're and Constantine are talking. Amar?
Yeah, Amar.
Amar's freaking out over.
He's freaking out. Yeah, he's shaking. He's shaking, acting crazy. He's like, "Whoa, who's this guy? You guys got to take care of this for me."
Is that something that with the girl or something? Is that something that is normal for him? Like, does he do that?
Yeah, he's gonna have coming up soon. He's gonna have some serious issues with sexual harassment and sexual assault case.
From.
Okay.
So he hires these girls that don't have paperwork, and he has them work, and then he pays them like $6 an hour or whatever, you know what I mean? And then says, oh, well, you know, I'm going to give you 18% of the tips. Well, the whole problem is that the only tips he gives them is what cash goes into the tip jar. He doesn't give them the cash from the credit cards. And like I said, I've learned all of this over time, being around him more and more. He's a douchebag. So yeah, she came to me and told me, and I said, hey, you know, you need to go talk to Orange County, you know, let the detective know or something what's going on. And I go, you can't just let that slide, because if he did it to you, then what everybody else is saying is true too.
So the reason why you guys are playing the prank is kind of like, I guess, because you know that this is something that he does.
Yeah. And it was at this point in time, we're playing the prank just to make him like, hey, bro, you see where you're fucking up? Like, you need to stop, or else this is going to be over for you. You know what I mean? At that time, we were still being friendly. It was still a friendly situation. You know what I mean?
Let's go back to the prank. So you guys are talking, and then what?
Yeah. So
Constantine?
So me and Constantine are talking, and it's almost like just gibberish, just funny, like, oh, pretending like we're talking, you know what I mean?
Was this white chick with you guys?
No, as soon as Constantine checked for the ID and did the motions with her, she left.
Okay.
So Amar was like, get the fuck out of here, you know. So she left. So anyway, we're jibber-jabbering, talking, bullshitting, and Amar comes up to me. He's like, hey, let me talk to you, and Constantine played the trick properly. He's like, hey, I'll get with you in a minute. So we jibber-jabber some more, and then I go, all right, let me talk to him. So
for a prank, it is more elaborate than what one would expect for as little time as Brijmohan spends at the lounge. There are too many people involved for it to make sense, going so far as to involve at least one person who Brijmohan doesn't even know.
At this point in time, Amar and me start talking.
This is all happening like right there inside the hookah lounge?
Mm-hmm.
By the bar or by where?
Between the bar and the couch. Amar kept trying to get us all to sit down and smoke.
Okay.
Instead of standing. He's like, oh, come smoke. And he kept trying to get Constantine to smoke and, you know, offer him all kinds of stuff, you know. So anyway, I go up to Amar. I start talking to Amar. I started to feel bad because he was all worked up. So I'm like, hey, bro, calm down. We're going to take care of this. No big deal. No big deal, man. Just relax. Calm down. I go, this happens all the time, you know, at any bar. Just be cool. Mm-hmm. We got this, man. I was like, you didn't do anything wrong. So Amar then is like, hey, man, you know, we got to get this guy out of here. Whatever it takes. I'm like, well, what do you want me to do, bro? I can't do nothing. He's like, go tell him you're a cop. I'm like, no, bro. I was like, are you fucking nuts? I was like, I go, I'll tell him I'm security. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, I'll show him my U.S. corrections card. Maybe that'll help. Mm-hmm. So he's like, yeah, do whatever you got to do. So I go back over and we start laughing and bullshitting some more. And then I look over at Amar and you could tell he's kind of like iffy now because we're laughing now. Me and the guy are laughing. You know, it's not, you shouldn't be laughing if it's a serious thing, right? So I go back to Amar and he's like, what's going on? Why were you guys laughing? I was like, oh, it was just a joke he said and it was funny. And he's like, oh, I don't like the jokes right now, man. I'm nervous. I'm like, well, don't be nervous. I was like, we're going to take care of this. This probably all happened within an hour, this whole thing, right? So anyway, Amar, we all sit down, and Amar's like, all right, here's what we're going to do. He's like, you seem like a good guy, and these two are good guys. And I'm a good guy, and I swear, and he does this thing with the grabs the mustache. He's like, I swear to God, nobody will ever find out about this. And so Constantine's like, okay, what's up? He goes, I'm going to come back, and I'm going to give you something, and will this all be taken care of, correct? So Constantine's like, okay, bro. You know what I mean? At the time, we're thinking he's going to come back and like, here's a hookah. Yeah. You know what I mean? This, that, or the third, you know, something.
Now, you guys are all huddled still inside the
Yes.
Okay, and there's people around.
No, well, it was late. It was later in the night, and it was a quieter night, so people had already began leaving and stuff like that. The lights were turned on. They were closing.
Okay.
You know, it was closing time. We didn't want to do the prank in front of all the customers and have the customers be all crazy, you know what I mean, and make it look crazy. You know, we figured that would piss Amar off.
Yeah.
So we were still, like I said, you know, part of the prank, we were still looking out for him. We didn't want to make people think like something weird was going on. So anyway, Amar's like, hey, let's go. I'm like, where do you want to go? He's like, drive me. We're going to go to Burger King, and then we're going to go to the bank. I'm like, okay. So we go to Burger King. Amar and me get food, and then we go to the bank.
Who paid at Burger King?
He paid.
Do you know if he paid cash or?
I'm pretty sure he used a credit card.
Card?
Yeah.
You go drive-through or went in?
Drive-through.
In your car?
Yep.
Which car was that?
I had a Nissan Murano at the time.
What color?
Dark gray.
Was that your car or?
No, it was a rental. My truck transmission was broken.
What kind of truck is it?
It's a Ford Explorer. Yeah, I just fucking replaced the engine and the fucking transmission went.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys drove to Burger King and then the bank?
Yep.
And at the bank, drive-through or walk-up?
Amar got out and went to the ATM. It was a walk-up ATM.
Okay.
At the bank. So Amar gets back in the car, and I'm like, all right, what's your plan, bro? You went to the bank. He's like, I'm going to offer him money. I'm like, I don't think that's a good idea, bro. He's like, oh, no, in this country, money buys everything. All right, bro. Good luck. So I bring him back. We sit down again. We're smoking, and then he goes, "Come, get up, come with me." I go, "Okay." So we go behind.
Let me pause real quick, because I forgot to ask you. I asked you what Steve and Constantine were wearing. What were you wearing?
Actually, I think I was wearing this hoodie.
A hoodie?
Yeah.
Okay.
And just regular cargo pants.
No hat, nothing like that?
I don't think I was wearing a hat.
Okay.
But it comes and it goes. Sometimes I wear it because I got this bald spot.
Right. It is what it is.
Sometimes I wear a hat, sometimes I don't, depending on how I look in that night.
Okay, go ahead.
So anyway, so he tells me to come around to the bar with him and the back register area, which, again, I've walked in every single square foot of that building because I worked there.
So you know it.
Right. And he goes into there. He's got like a blue money bag, and he starts pulling more cash out of the money bag. All right. So I'm like, all right, bro, I know what the plan is now. You're going to try to pay the guy off. Everything in America you can buy. I get it, bro. Because, you know, he lives the I got money life.
Does he have money?
I really don't know. To be honest with you, I don't, like, my opinion, I don't think he does.
He just plays it?
I think he more plays it, but I think he does pay. I mean, he's got his hands in a lot of weird stuff. Like, I found out that he was doing some kind of deal with auto shop.
Normally, this is the part of a prank when people come clean and admit that they are joking. Since money changed hands, it is harder to prove it wasn't extortion.
On OBT, where he was like buying cars from like an auction.
Send them overseas.
Through that, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a lot of people do that, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so he's digging out of the bank bag.
Right.
More money and what?
So he grabs the money up, and we go back and we sit down, and he makes an offer with this guy, right, Constantine. And
what does he offer?
He says he'll give him a total of $2,000. Then he'll give him $1,000 right now, cash, and then he'll give him another $1,000 the next night, cash. All right. So the plan was that prank was going to end that night. Mm-hmm. Right there.
Did Constantine ever identify himself as any type of law enforcement?
Not around me.
Okay. Did he, at any point, obviously to your knowledge, ever discuss the fact that there were violations that he had at his place?
Yeah.
And, like, did he discuss any fines or anything like that? They were going to be levied against?
No, I don't remember him saying anything about any fines. I know he said that he knows the place has been fined.
Okay.
Well, what was the complaint like? What did Constantine tell him was?
What was the
why was he going to get in trouble?
Well, he wasn't going to get him in trouble that night. That was the funny part about it, is that he was like, everything he said was, you know, you can get in trouble for this.
You know, you can get in trouble for this.
You know, you can get in trouble for that. You know what I mean? He never said, like, hey, bro, you're going to jail. I'm going to get you in trouble. You know what I mean? He never said that. Yeah. It was just, like I said, part of the prank was to, like, advise him, bro, this is what could happen to you. You know what I mean? So don't do this shit. Off. Stop this shit, dude. Because I like coming here. I like sitting down and smoking, you know.
You're going to mess it up for all of us.
Right. Everybody's going to, none of us are going to have a place to come anymore. You know what I mean? And by this point in time, like, when I first started going there versus towards the end, yeah, I was coming there all the time with groups of friends, and because his business was dying, you know, plus it's slow season for him in this area on I-Drive.
So you're bringing
in that area. I was bringing them customers. These guys were paying full price. You know what I mean? I never asked for him to give them a discount. You know what I mean? And the only thing was is that when I was with the group, I was the one that didn't have to pay. You know what I mean? That was always the deal with me and him.
Okay. So back to the prank.
Yeah.
He's got a pocket full of money.
Yeah.
And he's telling Constantine what?
He's like, oh, here. So this is where he pulls out the money, and it's $1,000, right?
And where are you guys at this time?
We're all sitting down in the table smoking hookah. So he's like, I'm giving you this $1,000 to Constantine, and he says, I want you to erase everything out of your phone.
What was in his phone?
Constantine took pictures of the ID.
Whose ID?
The girl's ID.
Okay.
Yeah. So he goes, I want you to erase everything out of your phone. I'm going to give you another $1,000 tomorrow to come back and we're all over. So this is where the prank became a 2-day prank.
Mm-hmm.
Because he said, come back tomorrow.
You're going long prank.
Right.
Did he hand the money to Constantine, or did he give it to you to give to Constantine?
We were sitting in a group, so it was Constantine, me, Amar, and Steven. So Amar handed it to me, and I handed it to Constantine.
And what was it, like a wad?
It was a wad, yeah.
So he handed you the wad, and you handed the money to Constantine?
Right.
Okay. This is the only time you ever touched that money?
Right.
Okay.
So we passed the money.
And you guys are sitting down, like with a smoke hookah?
Yeah, we're sitting down. Yeah.
That's like, I've been in the place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you step in through the front door. I know in the far back by the DJ, there's a door. And then on the far left is the back door.
Correct.
And
there's 3 doors. There's the front door, the side door, and the back door.
Where are you guys sitting in relation to those seats?
By the side door.
Okay.
Right next to the DJ's area.
Okay, the little couch for that. All right.
So, no, side note, now I'm thinking about it. When Amar was counting the money out from the bag, that was the first time I touched money.
Where did you get that bag from? Where was it?
No one involved said anything, which indicates that this had been the plan all along.
He reached down behind his desk. I don't know.
Where's that at?
His desk, if you're inside the building, there's like a little cutoff spot where there's a kitchen, and then like a computer, and then his camera system and everything. There's a camera system there.
In the place?
Yeah, I've helped him install some of his cameras. So there is a camera system there. But right next there, like his desk is right here, and then you can't get to the desk because it's blocked off by the bar. So it's like his little office space, basically. So in the office space, he reached underneath the table, his desk, and pulled out.
He pulls out a bag full of money.
So you said he gave you the money there?
Yeah, he gave me the money there.
Why did he give you the money?
Because he wanted me to pay the guy. He wanted me. He's like, Sean, you take care of this. You deal with this guy. Blah blah. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like he wanted his hands clean from whatever was going on.
Mm-hmm.
He figured that because he saw me and the kid laughing that we had a better connection type deal. He's like, you just deal with the guy. You deal with the guy.
Okay. So he handed you how much money?
Handed me $1,000.
Okay.
Right. So then, when we get around the corner, I said, all right, here, you give it to the guy because, you know, it's you. It's gonna look funny if I give it to the guy. Okay. So I give it to him. When we get to the couches, he hands it to me. I hand it to the guy.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know if it makes a difference.
Not really. It's a lot of handing and taking, but
yeah.
When he went, you guys said you went to Burger King, then you went to the bank,
Mm-hmm.
and then he came back.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's saying he got the money. He already had money in the bag. He had a bag full of money.
Mm-hmm.
So why did he go to the ATM? Like why?
I really don't know why he went to the ATM.
Did he come back with a bunch of money from the ATM? Or
he had money.
Or not?
Yeah, he had money from the ATM.
Like how much? Like what do you think? Was it stacks or was it?
No, it was maybe a few $100s.
Because I'm just thinking like why did he make you go all the way over there?
Yeah, I don't know.
If in the back of the thing he's got a bag full of money.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever talk in the car? Was he freaking out, or?
He was just really freaked out the whole time, really nervous the whole time.
Okay.
You know, I kept telling him not to worry, tried to keep calming him down, you know what I mean?
So back to the couch.
Yeah. So
Amari hands you the money, you hand the money to Constantine.
Correct.
And then what's said? What happens?
He's like, all right, I want to see you delete it right now. Now he gave him money, so he feels a little bit better.
Yeah.
He's like,
What's Steve doing with the whole thing?
Just kind of sitting there.
Okay. The lump on the log is
Well, in the beginning of the prank, Steve didn't know about the prank. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That was the funny part too.
Did you tell him anywhere?
We ended up telling him. Yeah, we ended up telling him one because, and towards like the middle when Steve was hanging out with Amar, I said, "Come here, bro." I was like, "Yo, bro, we're playing a prank," and he's like, "Oh, you fucking assholes," you know what I mean? Because this is what we do.
Okay.
So anyway,
he deletes
the pictures. Deletes the pictures out of the phone. And Amar goes, "I swear to God, man, we all keep this right here. I'll pay you again tomorrow. You come back. I'll give you another $1,000, and you come here and you hang out and you smoke hookah and we hang out." And he's like, "All right, bro." So he goes out the side door. We continue to talk to Amar.
Where did he go? Where did Constantine go?
He went out the side door. I think he left.
Okay.
So anyway, the conversation starts between me, Negron, and Amar, and me, Steve, and Amar.
Who's Negron?
I think that's Steve's last name.
Negron? He's Spanish dude?
Yeah.
What and you don't know Constantine's last name. Like, how do we get a hold of Constantine? How do you get a hold of him?
I got his number. Yeah.
Here's the deal, bro. Well, we'll talk at the end, but keep going.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So anyway, the plan was to go back the next night.
So did he leave with this guy's money?
Yeah.
So Constantine took the money.
Yeah.
Dipped out.
Yeah.
So it's you and Steve.
Yeah.
Sitting there with Amar.
Yeah.
What is said?
We go, we talk about what happened. Amar's more calm. He's like, yeah, this guy come back and I pay him tomorrow and we're all good. I don't worry about nothing, man. He's like, I got money. I was like, okay. So we talk a little bit. He thanks me and Steve. He's like, hey, man, we appreciate everything that's going on. Appreciate you helping me out, blah, blah. He's like, we'll deal with this tomorrow. So I'm like, all right. So now we leave and I'm sorry. When all this stuff is going on, where's the wait staff, the rest of the people? Like, what's going on? They were all there.
Like, are they paying attention? Like,
with the girls, yeah. Well, no, they were cleaning. Amar made them clean.
It was at the end of the day, which reduced the likelihood of witnesses who would remember a payoff.
So people left then?
Yeah.
Or are they cleaning in front of people?
No. People, by this, like I said, it was an hour. It was like 1:30, and the hookah lounge closes at 2. 2? So it was like an hour. People had already left. When me and Amar...
Nobody was told to leave?
Nobody was told to leave, no. Okay. When me and Amar went to the bank, people had already left. So, by that time.
Okay.
Yeah, because he wouldn't just leave with the people there.
So you guys he thanks you guys. You guys walk out, or do you guys stay there? What else happened?
Me, him, and Steve me and Amar and Steve, we walk out together. We go out towards the front near his car, and we're discussing and talking about, what happened. He's saying thank you, appreciates it. He says, tomorrow I give the guy more money, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So we all leave.
Who left first?
Steve leaves, then Amar leaves, then I leave. Okay. So, or no, wait. Maybe Amar left first.
What is Steve driving?
A Nissan.
What? Like a Nissan?
Sentra.
What color?
Black.
And Amar has?
Silver Lexus.
Like a newer one? Like a nice one or an old one?
It's a nice one. Yeah, it's not old.
But it's newer. 2-door or 4-door?
I think it's a 4-door.
Okay. So Amar goes which way, and which way do you guys go?
We all traveled the same direction out of the plaza because there's no other option.
Yeah.
And then I think Amar went towards his house, and then me and Steve left. And me, Steve, and Constantine met up at Denny's. And with Denny's...
Is it far? Is it close?
No, it's right around the corner.
Huh.
That's right. Yeah. If you're on Kirkman, you take a right on the International. It's right there. It's literally like right around the corner from the...
Okay, so you take Universal northbound,
yeah,
and you come around the other end over there.
Yeah.
So the Denny's at Kirkman and International.
Yeah.
So was that a thing? Like, did you guys...
Pre-plan to meet there?
Was that hey, we'll meet at Denny's, or did you call him and say, hey, what's up?
We got on the phones and we're like, bro, where the fuck are you?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, let's meet at Denny's. So we went to Denny's.
Did you guys meet at the Wawa or anything?
No.
Never met at the Wawa?
No, we didn't go to Wawa at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we went to Denny's, and then at Denny's we were laughing, joking around. This fucking guy, we got him. You know what I mean? So the plan from there was we're gonna make it the next day there. We're gonna put the money in a card, right? And we're gonna give him the card.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna say, bro, we got you. We planned for a whole group to be there and everything.
Yeah.
And the group was gonna be there and pay. You know what I mean? They're not trying to get nothing free. They're going to still pay.
Just friends or
a group of friends and people, you know what I mean, just to go there.
When you guys went to the Denny's, where'd you sit?
We didn't eat. Yeah, we didn't go inside and eat.
We just met in the parking lot?
We met in the parking lot. We were going to go inside and eat, and then the lady was like, it's going to be a minute, and there was, like, nobody inside, so I was like, dude, fuck this. I got work in the morning.
So y'all walked in and walked right out. About what time was this?
3-ish, maybe.
Like between 3 and 3:30?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So you guys were going to do a big reveal the next day?
Right.
Waiting a day to claim it had all been a prank makes the detectives even more skeptical. This is not something you do when a prank has escalated into involving money or placing someone in danger.
And what happened?
The next day I went there.
Did you have his money with you?
Yeah. Well, I didn't have the money. Constantine still had the money.
And where was he at? With you?
He was coming. So we were all meeting. We all had to meet at different times. We all had stuff going on.
Yeah.
So we were all meeting at different times. So Steve actually got to the place first, then me, and then we were waiting for Constantine. And there was a large group there already that was supposed to be there for the reveal. That's you put it.
So they were in it?
Right.
Did that group have your mom or Steve's mom in there?
Steve's mom. All my family's in New York.
Okay. What's Steve's mom's name? Do you know?
I always called her Steve's mom.
Mrs. Negron?
Mrs. Mom.
Yeah, just Steve's mom.
Brijmohan is calm, but can he keep from cracking under pressure long enough to make the detectives believe his story? Thank you for watching. Check out my Patreon link in the description below and drop a like on this video. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. I'm always curious to read what you thought of the case.